What if I told you that a single scam, born in the heart of China, grew so colossal it could actually move the entire global crypto market? This isn't a hypothetical. This is the story of a ghost in the machine, a digital phantom that made billions disappear and sent shockwaves through the world of Bitcoin. This is the story of PlusToken. It began with a simple, seductive promise. In mid-2018, a new player emerged in the burgeoning world of cryptocurrency, PlusToken. On the surface, it presented itself as a sophisticated e-wallet, a secure place for users to store their digital assets like Bitcoin and Ethereum, but it offered a tantalizing twist. It wasn't just a wallet, it was a high-yield investment program. All you had to do was deposit your crypto, activate their AI dog automated trading bot, and watch the profits roll in. The returns they promised were staggering, anywhere from 10% to 30% per month. To the seasoned investor, this screamed too good to be true. But to millions of new, enthusiastic entrants into the crypto space, particularly in China and across Asia, it looked like the opportunity of a lifetime. The marketing was relentless and brilliant in its own deceptive way. They held lavish events in five-star hotels, flew in promoters, and cultivated an almost cult-like following. It was a classic multi-level marketing scheme, dressed up in the futuristic language of blockchain. Recruit more members, and your earnings would multiply. The network effect was explosive. People poured in their life savings. Grandmothers, students, office workers, they all wanted a piece of the crypto revolution, and PlusToken promised them a first-class ticket. At its peak, the platform claimed to have amassed over 3 million members. The money flowing in was biblical in proportion. Bitcoin, Ethereum, EOS, Litecoin digital gold was being funneled into PlusToken's coffers at an astonishing rate. And then, in the summer of 2019, the music stopped. Withdrawals were frozen. The app became unresponsive. The charismatic leaders who had been the face of the operation vanished. Panic erupted. Across Telegram channels and WeChat groups, a horrifying realization dawned on millions of users. Their money was gone. The entire operation had been a colossal Ponzi scheme. Early investors were paid with the funds of new investors, creating the illusion of profit, while the masterminds siphoned off the rest. When the house of cards finally collapsed, an estimated $6 billion worth of cryptocurrency had evaporated. It was one of the largest financial scams in modern history. And the digital treasure chest was now in the hands of ghosts. The fallout triggered one of the most complex international manhunts the crypto world had ever seen. The Chinese Ministry of Public Security was now facing a multi-billion-dollar problem. But this wasn't a typical bank robbery. Perpetrators weren't fleeing with bags of cash. They were moving billions in assets across a decentralized global network, all with a few clicks. The investigation became a sprawling international effort. Chinese authorities began coordinating with law enforcement agencies across Southeast Asia, hunting for the core team of architects behind PlusToken. One by one, they were tracked down. In Vanuatu, a remote island nation in the South Pacific, 6 Chinese nationals connected to the scheme were arrested and extradited. Others were apprehended in Cambodia, Vietnam, and Malaysia. Over the course of a year, more than 100 individuals involved in the scam's vast network were rounded up. The lower-level promoters and mid-tier managers were caught. But the biggest challenge remained: locating the stolen funds. The $6 billion wasn't sitting in a single bank account. It was scattered across a labyrinth of digital wallets. This is where the true scale of PlusToken's impact became terrifyingly clear. Blockchain investigators and market analysts began to follow the digital breadcrumbs. They identified thousands of wallet addresses controlled by the PlusToken scammers. The criminals had started a sophisticated laundering process. To convert their stolen crypto into untraceable cash, they needed to sell it. But you can't just sell billions of dollars of Bitcoin on an exchange without someone noticing. So they began to move the funds in a coordinated, methodical way. They used peel chains, a technique where they would send a small amount of crypto to an exchange to sell, while the bulk of the funds moved to a new, clean wallet address. Then they'd repeat the process again and again, creating a dizzying, fractal-like pattern of transactions designed to obscure the money trail. They also used mixers, services that tumble cryptocurrencies from thousands of different sources together, making it nearly impossible to trace the origin of any specific coin. And this is where the story pivots from a massive fraud to a market-moving cataclysm. Every time the PlusToken scammers moved a large tranche of Bitcoin to an exchange, they created immense selling pressure. Think of it like this: a group of whales, holding more Bitcoin than most institutional investors, was systematically dumping their assets onto the open market. They weren't trading based on news or market sentiment. Their only goal was to cash out before they got caught. Analysts began to correlate the movement of PlusToken funds with significant downturns in Bitcoin's price. A transfer of 10,000 Bitcoin from a PlusToken wallet would often be followed by a sharp price drop just hours or days later. Throughout late 2019 and into 2020, the PlusToken dump became a dark cloud hanging over the market. Traders watched the blockchain, trying to anticipate the scammer's next move. The ghost of PlusToken was haunting the charts, its actions single-handedly contributing to market volatility and suppressing Bitcoin's price. One scam, run by a handful of criminals, was now powerful enough to manipulate the direction of the entire multi-hundred-billion-dollar crypto economy. Ultimately, the Chinese authorities were remarkably successful. In late 2020, a court ruling revealed the staggering scale of what they had recovered. They had seized 194,775 Bitcoin, over 833,000 Ethereum, and millions of other coins. At the time of the seizure, the assets were valued at over $4 billion. According to the court documents, these recovered digital assets were to be processed and the proceeds forfeited to the national treasury. An unprecedented crypto seizure handled by a state. The PlusToken saga serves as a chilling case study. It demonstrates the dark side of a decentralized, borderless financial system. The very features that make cryptocurrency revolutionary, its anonymity and ease of transferals, so make it a powerful tool for crime on a scale never before imaginable. The scam revealed how a sufficiently large, bad actor could distort a market that many believed was too big to be manipulated. It was a brutal lesson in the fragility of a nascent ecosystem. A testament to the timeless power of human greed, now amplified by technology. The leaders of PlusToken are now behind bars, and a significant portion of the money has been accounted for. But for the millions who lost their savings, the story doesn't have a happy ending. And for the crypto market, the ghost of PlusToken lingers. It reminds us that in the digital Wild West, there are always new predators lurking in the shadows. And it poses a critical question for the future of finance. As our money becomes pure information, how do we protect ourselves when the biggest threat isn't a bank robber, but a few lines of code and a promise that's too good to be true? The missing billions were found, but the trust that was broken may be a far more valuable asset, one that's much harder to recover.